Hello everyone. Today we will discuss second module called as three-phase symmetrical faults. Okay. So in that I will share the PPT. So symmetrical fault analysis. So in that before going to the symmetrical fault analysis, what is fault? What are the types of fault? What are the causes for fault? We should know. Okay. So what is fault generally? So fault in a electrical equipment or apparatus that is defined as the abnormal condition of electrical system. Okay. So it is not a normal condition. It is a abnormal condition of a electrical system which damages the electrical equipment. Obviously, which damages the electrical equipment and disturbs the normal flow of the electric current. Disturbs the normal flow of the electrical current. So is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Is it and the PPT is visible, right? PPT.
Visible, sir.
So fault
Yes,
means
sir.
under normal condition there is no fault and fault current nothing is there, so everything is right. And under abnormal condition, abnormal means there is a fault occurs. So there are different types of fault: short circuit, overload, okay, open circuit. So we will discuss. So in that condition, the parameters of the power system, what are the parameters? The power in terms of MVA and current, voltage. So all these things is going to be changed. Okay. So we need to analyze in that fault analysis. Fault analysis means we need to analyze the parameters of the power system. Okay. So the analysis is required, that is called as fault analysis. So what is symmetrical fault analysis? So there are two types of fault: symmetrical fault and unsymmetrical fault. So the analysis related to the symmetrical fault, hence it is called as symmetrical fault analysis. So why fault will be occurring? What are the causes for the fault and what are the effects of faults in the power system? So that is important. Okay. And causes for fault. So insulation may failure. Okay. So the cable insulation may damage because of life spanning of the cable, or because of any other insects or something damaging due to some mechanical stress on that particular cable. Okay. So due to so many reasons insulation get failure, okay, of cable, or in suppose the insulators it may damage. Okay. So like that insulation is failure, then current start flowing through the conductor. So that is called as a insulation failure. Second one is short circuit. What is the short circuit? Short circuit means a phase and neutral both are joined, that is interlinked. Okay. So that is called as a short circuit, dead short circuit. So next is lightning and switching surges. You may know, because of natural phenomena, natural causes, lightning and switching surges. So because of this, fault will be occurring. Birds, snakes. So these are all also causes for the fault. So birds, that is on the transmission line or distribution line. So it may touch to the ground as well as wire. At the time the fault will be occurring. Okay, if the bird sitting on only one line, no problem. So the bird is conductivity between one wire and earth, or in between the two wire, at that time the fault will be occurring. And similarly snake, so in that in between the two contacts the snake come here. Okay. So there is a short circuit occurred because the current starts passing, so the conduction will be takes place in between the two contact. So these are the several causes for the fault. And joint failures on cables. and ice and snow loading. Okay, in ice and snow loading in the hilly areas and so cold areas. So that is causing the fault, and storms due to earthquakes, etc. The fault will be occurring. So these are the several causes for the fault. So, and what are the types of fault? What are the types of fault? So that is symmetrical faults. Another one is unsymmetrical fault. So what do you mean by symmetrical fault? A symmetrical fault means a three-phase fault. So it may consist of ground or may not ground. Okay. So that is called as three-phase fault. Unsymmetrical fault means, so that is a single line to ground fault and double line to ground fault and triple line to ground fault. So these are called as unsymmetrical fault. So look into the diagram. A three-phase circuit network is there. Conductors are there. Okay. So the first one, three phase. So all the three phases are dead short circuited. This is called a symmetrical fault. Okay. And it may also connected to the ground. Okay, that is also may happen. Okay, there are two possibilities: three phase fault with or without ground. So first one is this is without ground. So next we can connect to the ground. So that is called as with ground. All the three phases are connected to the ground. That is, there are the two types of symmetrical fault and three types of unsymmetrical fault. So what are those unsymmetrical fault? Single line to ground fault. So this is the line to ground fault, single line to ground fault. One line is connected to the ground. And second one is double line to ground fault. So this is double line to ground fault. Two conductors are connected to the ground. And line to line fault, that is LL fault. So that is not connected to ground. In between the two conductor, dead short circuit occurs. So these three are unsymmetrical fault. Okay, and three phase fault is called as symmetrical fault. So why it is called as symmetrical and unsymmetrical? Because in symmetrical fault, after the fault occur also, the current will be balanced. Okay, current will be balanced. So hence it is called as symmetrical fault. In unsymmetrical fault, what happen? Current does not balance. Suppose the fault occurring in any one line, so that line current is going to be changed, and another two line currents are remain same. So what happen? Total current in the circuit, it is unbalanced. Okay, so because of unbalancing in the parameters, so the system called as unsymmetrical fault. So rather than symmetrical and unsymmetrical fault, open circuit faults are there, winding faults are there, okay, and simultaneous faults. So simultaneously all the faults may occur. So that is as single line to ground, double line to ground, or open circuit, sometimes a winding fault. All simultaneous faults may occur. So in now in power system, we are going to study about symmetrical and unsymmetrical faults. Okay. So symmetrical fault. So that is we have told what is symmetrical means. There are two different faults. So all the three phases R, Y, and B are shorted. So this is called as symmetrical three-phase fault. So and all the three phases are shorted and also connected to the ground. This is LLLG, triple LG fault or triple L fault. So this is called as symmetrical fault. Okay. So in this, what happened? The fault current is the remain same in all the three phases, and hence system remains balanced even after fault occurrence. Even after fault occurrence, system will be balanced condition only. Okay, so hence because of system is under balanced condition, symmetrical fault conditions can be conveniently analyzed on a single phase basis. Okay, so what happens, initially a transient and subtransient reactances are come into the picture, so that in that period slight variations in the parameter, that is the voltage and current. After that it will reaches the steady state. After transient and subtransient period, so it will reach us the steady state and the current will remains balanced. Okay, so that is called as the symmetrical fault analysis. And in case of unsymmetrical fault, that is comes in the next module. So unsymmetrical fault analysis. So during that, that is suppose out of three lines R, Y and B or ABC. So one line is connected to the ground. So that is called as single line to ground fault. And we can call it as a double L fault, line to line fault. So both the lines are short circuited. That is called as double line fault. And third one is uh, double line to ground fault. Okay, so RYB, three phases. Out of three phases, two lines are connected with ground. That is called as double line to ground fault. These three called as unsymmetrical faults. So the fault current is not the same in all the three phases. Okay, so fault current is different in all the three phases. Hence, it is called as unsymmetrical fault. In such case, special tools like symmetrical components are required to analyze the fault. In case of symmetrical fault, there is no special tool is required. Directly we can analyze the symmetrical fault. Okay, because system is balanced in case of symmetrical fault. In case of unsymmetrical fault, what happens? System is unbalanced. So for that purpose, we require some symmetrical components. So there is the next chapter is there, symmetrical components. So we will discuss in detail what is symmetrical component. So by using that tool, symmetrical components, we will analyze the unsymmetrical fault. That is called as unsymmetrical fault analysis. Okay, we got difference between what is symmetrical fault and what is unsymmetrical fault. How we can calculate, that is analyze the symmetrical fault and also unsymmetrical fault analysis, right? So have got these things. Are you following? Okay, still people are joining. Okay, or statistics, what happened? Generally, single line to ground fault, it will occur more prominent in the system. That is 85% of the faults are single line to ground fault. Okay, and line to line faults are 8%, and double line to ground faults, that will happen only 5%, and three phase symmetrical fault, that is occurring only 2% in the power system. So most causing fault is called as single line to ground fault. Okay, so that is the statistics. So that is provided. So next, so this is a derivation is very important. Transient and transmission line. Okay, what is transient analysis on the transmission line due to short circuit? Okay, due to short circuit. So first is symmetrical fault analysis. In that symmetrical fault analysis, this derivation is important. So consider a circuit for transmission line. Generally transmission line is represented in RL circuit and also with the capacitance, that is the pi network. So your capacitance is going to be neglected because of it is very small. So and remaining is lumped RL series circuit is remains if you neglect the capacitor, because that is the pi network. So considering that is RL network under the short circuit, capacitance is parallel, so that is neglected. So under the short circuit, make it as switch here. A switch is there. Whenever you close the switch, the short circuit will be occurring. So for analysis purpose, we have taken the transmission line in terms of lumped RL series circuit. Okay. Let us consider the short circuit transient on a transmission line. The line is fed from the constant voltage source. So line is fed from constant voltage source. Suppose the generator is connected. How you are representing the generator? That is in terms of constant voltage source. Okay. So that constant voltage source, that is equal to V of t or V. Okay. So that is equal to V is equal to Vm sin omega t. Generally V is equal to Vm sin omega t. Okay, so VM means what? That is the maximum voltage. So that maximum voltage, how you will calculate? That is root 2 into V. Maximum voltage is equal to root 2 times of, that is the V. Okay, instantaneous value. So sine of omega t plus alpha here. Okay, so we will discuss what is omega t and what is alpha and alpha. The line is fed from the constant voltage source. The case when the line is fed from realistic synchronous machine. So in this short circuit takes place when the line is unloaded. Okay, short circuit takes place when the line is unloaded. So consider here load is not connected. Okay, so that derivation will come later when it is connected to the load. Okay, so now line capacitance is negligible. Previously I have told about the line capacitance is negligible, and the line can be represented by lumped RL series circuit, and short circuit is assumed to takes place at t is equal to 0. So whenever you close the switch, so at the time of closing switch, so t starts at the beginning, so that is taken as t is equal to 0. So in your initial condition, like in you have studied in network analysis or circuit analysis, initial conditions and Laplace transformation. So when t is equal to 0, so what happens? The parameter alpha controls the instant on the voltage wave on short circuit occurs. Okay, so that is alpha is the parameter, it controls the instant on the voltage. Whatever the voltage is there, that can be controlled the at that particular instant. Okay, on the short circuit occurs. Okay, so how you will write the short circuit calculation? So E of t, so this is same RL lumped series circuit is shown at the t is equal to 0 whenever you are closing switch. So E of t is equal to root t v into sine of omega t plus alpha. What is root 2 into v? That is equal to v max. Okay, and we can write it as this is v max sine of omega t plus alpha. V max sine omega t plus alpha. This is E of t is equal to. So apply KVL. Okay, apply KVL here. What happened? R and L. The current I is flowing here. So therefore R into I plus L into di by dt. Okay, you already studied these things in the network analysis. How to write the KVL equation for RL series circuit. R into I plus L into di by dt. Okay, so when t is greater than 0. Okay, so after converting this into Laplace transformation, and finally we will get the equation. Okay, so like this, finally we will get the equation after converting into Laplace transformation and all those things we already studied in the network analysis. So we will get for lumped RL series circuit I is equal to, that is root 2 v by z. Okay, into sine of omega t plus alpha minus theta. So what is z here? Z is given by square root of r square plus omega square plus L square. Okay, so that is the r. So that is not r2, this is r square. Okay, so z is equal to r square plus omega square into L square. So at an and theta, so theta that is given by tan inverse of omega L by r. So theta is equal to tan inverse of omega L by r. So what is current? I is equal to V by Z. Generally I is equal to V by Z. So what is here? Here that is only voltage is represented here. I want current. Current is equal to V by Z. So what is that? What is Z? Z is equal to R square plus, that is omega L square. Okay. So that is given here. Okay. So root 2 into V by Z sine of omega t plus alpha minus theta plus root 2 into V by Z sine of theta minus alpha into e raised to minus r by L into t. Okay, this expression we will get after simplifying the this equation. Okay, so then in that we'll make it as two components here. Okay, first part and second part. First part is called as a symmetrical short circuit current. So I is equal to, there are two parts. combination of two parts. First part we can call it as symmetrical short circuit current, and second part is called as DC offset current. So this DC offset current is continuously decaying quantity. Okay, and there are two parts, symmetrical short circuit and DC offset current. So symmetrical short circuit current is represented by IS, and DC offset current is represented by IT. So therefore total current I of t or I is equal to IS plus IT. Okay, so we can write what is IS. Explained, IS is equal to root T V by Z sine of omega t plus alpha minus theta. Okay, IS is written as. So where IS is the steady state current and T is the transient current. Okay, so summation of steady state current and transient current is equal to total current. Okay, so and IT is the transient current. So transient current such that I of 0 is equal to IS of 0 plus IT of 0. This is equal to 0. Being an inductive circuit, it decays corresponding to the time constant, that is L by R. Okay, so that is equal to minus IS of 0 to e raised to minus R by L into T. Okay, so that is I of t is equal to, so second part, that is root 2 into V by Z sine of theta minus alpha e raised to minus R by L into T. So this component is called as I of t. Next is, so look into this figure. So this is a combination of two component. So that is one is symmetrical component. The wave is called a symmetrical component, and the dotted line is called as IDC, is called as a DC offset current. Okay, there are two components up there, that is equal to I of t or I. One is symmetrical component, that expression we have given, and DC offset component, this is continuously decaying with respect to time. Okay, one is AC component IAC, another one is IDC. Both are produced under the short circuit. Okay, so that DC offset current is continuously decaying quantity. Okay, so this is the transient period. After the transient period, steady state period, decaying DC component is die out and remaining is AC component. Okay, so look at this diagram. There are three waveforms are there. So first waveform is sinusoidally steady state current, is called as a symmetrical short circuit current. So here voltage quantity is there and current quantity, both the waves are there. The angle between voltage and current is called as a theta. Okay, and at the time of closing of the switch, okay, so the alpha, it controls the voltage wave, that is we have explained. So this is called as alpha, right? And the unidirectional transient component, we have told about what is I of t, that is continuously decaying component, okay, with respect to time. So this unidirectional transient component is called as a DC offset current. So now combine these two. So total I of t, this total current I is equal to what? Combination of steady state current as well as transient current. So IS of t plus I of t. Okay, what is IS? IS is equal to this one. This is IS waveform. This is IS. So combine IS waveform and IT waveform. So this is IT and this is IS. So this is decreasing in nature, this is constant. So at the starting period, what happened up to here, okay, the total, so add these two waveform, what happens, the total waveform will be decreasing for some extent. So this is called as maximum momentary current. So this is first maximum, whatever the peak is there, that is called as maximum momentary current, that is to be calculated. And after some time, so it will symmetrical, okay, or it will be steady state. So initially it is a transient because of DC offset current. So dotted line here to here, up to here it is a transient. So there is a variation, and after that it will become steady state. it will be constant whenever DC component is dies out, which causes the total short circuit current to be unsymmetrical till the transient decays. Okay, the transient decays, up to transient decays, the waveform, it will be unsymmetrical. After that, it will be symmetrical. Okay, this is waveform of our short circuit current on the transmission line. So are you following, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Vismaya?
Yes, sir.
So next is so we'll coming to the expression, that is I is equal to total current, that is IS plus IT, that is DC offset current and symmetrical short circuit current. So in this the maximum momentary short circuit current, so that is called as IMM, that is given by, that corresponds to the first peak. Okay, that is corresponds to first peak. So this is the first peak. And also this term we can call it as root 2 V by Z sine of theta minus alpha. This is the transient second term of the I of t. So in that this term theta minus alpha. So this is represented here. So that maximum point of DC offset current. Okay, and maximum momentary current is IMM from this point to this point. Okay, so that is represented. So that is taken as 1. Sine of omega t plus alpha minus theta is equal to 1. This is corresponds to IMM. Okay. Along with this, suppose you substitute sine of omega t in that first part, sine of omega t plus alpha minus theta. This is equal to 1. So what is remaining? Root 2 into V by Z is remaining. Right here, root 2 into V by Z. And in second component, along with that, if the decays of transient current in the short time, that is to be neglected. So hence you put t is equal to 0 in the second component. T is equal to 0. If t is equal to 0, what happens? This entire term is 0. E raised to 0 is represented as 1. E raised to 0 is equal to E of 0 is equal to 1. So therefore, what is the remaining term? Root 2 into V by Z into sine of theta minus alpha. So therefore, IMM is equal to root 2 into V by Z sine of theta minus alpha. This term is there. And in that first part, so this sine of omega t plus alpha minus theta, this is equal to 1. Remaining term is root 2 V by Z. Is it clear? IMM is equal to, we got root 2 V by Z sine of theta minus alpha, this term, and root 2 V by Z, this term. Is it clear up to here? Now, since the transmission line resistance is very small, so considering the inductive load, so in the inductive load, what happens? Theta is almost nearly equal to 90 degree, right? If it is a pure inductive load, theta is equal to 90 degree. If resistance is very small, neglecting the resistance, so then obviously theta will becomes 90 degree. So what happens? If substitute theta is equal to 90 degree, sine of 90 minus alpha is equal to cos alpha. Okay, so therefore root 2 V by Z into cos alpha plus root 2 V by Z. So again, this has a maximum possible value for alpha is taken as 0. So in the short circuit occurring when the voltage wave is going through the 0. Okay, the voltage wave is going through 0, hence taken as alpha is equal to 0. So cos 0 is equal to 1. Then root 2 V by Z plus root 2 V by Z is equal to IMM. It means 2 times of root 2 V by Z. That is called as doubling effect of the transmission line. So twice the maximum of symmetrical short circuit current. This is called as doubling effect. Okay, so finally we got the total expression IMM is equal to 2 times of root 2 V by Z. This is called as doubling effect. For the selection of circuit breaker, this term is important. IMM, that is the momentary short circuit current, is taken for corresponding to its maximum possible value. That is called as a safe value. That is safe choice. So this is the derivation. This is important derivation of the transmission line. Is it clear to everyone? Transient on transmission line, lumped RL series circuit is there. Okay, you will write the expression for lumped RL series circuit, Ri plus L di by dt, and your voltage source E of t is equal to Vm sin omega t plus alpha. Okay, that is V max is equal to root 2 into V. If you want current, I is equal to Vm by Z. Okay, so that is equal to root 2 V means that is V maximum by Z. So root 2 V by Z sin of omega t plus alpha minus theta. So, and DC offset current root 2 V by Z into sin of theta minus alpha into e raised to minus r by L into t. So the steady state current and transient current both we can call it as total current, right? That is called as IS. IS is the steady state current and IT is the transient current. Combination of these two will get total I. Okay, and that is shown here. Both IDC is continuously decaying component with respect to time. Okay, and steady state current is that is called as IS or IAC. So look into the diagram, and final diagram, the combination of IS and IT, that is given in the third diagram. And we will substitute sin of omega t plus alpha minus theta is equal to 1 in this expression, first term, and in second term make it as t is equal to 0, and we will get the expression like this. After that, theta is equal to 0 in for the transmission line, so then this will become sin of 90 minus alpha is equal to cos alpha. So make it as alpha becomes 0, then this will becomes cos of 0 is equal to 1, then IMM is equal to 2 times of root 2V by mod Z. So this is equal to doubling effect in the transmission line. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yes, sir. Any doubts? Shushmita?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Chandana?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Ramchandra? Got the derivation? Okay. So next one is short circuit of synchronous machine on no load condition. Okay, so previously I discussed for transmission line. The same thing, short circuit occurred in the synchronous machine under no load condition. What happens? Okay, so look at the symmetrical short circuit current in synchronous generator. So this is the diagram. This is the short circuit current, and there are it is divided into three parts. One is sub transient period, second one is the transient period, and third one is the steady state period. So this is the steady state period. Okay, so this is OA. OA represents the steady state period, and OB represents the transient period, and OC represents the subtransient period. Subtransient period, it will be a very small period, up to 2 cycles. After that, the subtransient period, the current will be die out. The subtransient current will be die out, and after that, there is a transient period. It will be around 5 to 6 cycles. Okay, after that, transient is die out, and remaining final is called as the steady state. That steady state will becomes constant. So this is the actual envelope, and this is the extrapolation of steady state envelope, and this is extrapolation of transient envelope. Okay, so this is the symmetrical short circuit current in the synchronous generator. So so in that we need to calculate the current. So I is equal to OA by root 2 So this is the OA by root 2. So OA is equal to, that is the generated voltage, divided by XD. XD is the direct axis reactance of the generator, and XD dash is the direct axis transient reactance of the generator, and XD double dash is the direct axis subtransient reactance of the generator. So we will discuss one by one. Look at these diagrams. So any generator, it consists of three, here representing the three windings, that is the reactances. So one is the leakage reactance, that is represented by XL. Along with that, that is XA is the armature reactance, and XF, that is called as the field reactance, and XDW is called as the damper winding reactance. Any synchronous machine, so generally it is having a armature, okay, along with that field winding. There are two windings generally you have, so that is armature winding and field winding. Along with that, in synchronous machine, in general, in induction motor, only two windings are there. In synchronous machine, along with that, damper windings are placed on the poles of the generator. You already studied in previous machines, right? That is called as DW. So all the windings having its own reactances, hence it is called as armature reactance, field reactance, and damper winding reactance. Okay. So along with that, leakage reactance, that is the generated EMF, that is represented by the voltage source with respect to the reactance, that is XL. Okay. So during the short circuit, so that is these all the reactances are come into the picture. That is the approximate circuit model during the sub-transient period of the short circuit. Under sub-transient period of the short circuit, XDW is there, XF is there, XA is there, and all XL is there. Okay, all the term is there. After sub-transient period, that is damper winding reactance will be die out. Okay, so this is not coming to the picture. So then your circuit will becomes, it is only field reactance is there and XA is there, because the whatever the flux produced from these reactances, that is the coil, that is opposing to the main flux. Okay, that is the field flux is opposing to the main flux. So that is in armature reaction you have studied. Okay, so similar way, so here XA and XF, these are remains. So these two are parallel with the leakage reactance under the during transient period, second period. During second period, so only XF and XA remains during the transient period, and DW, damper winding reactance, is decayed. Okay, that is neglected. And finally, the transient is also die out. Transient period is also die out. At that time, so only leakage reactance and XA will remain. Is it clear? Initially, DW, XF, and XA is there under the subtransient period. After that, DW goes out. Only transient period, the two reactances are remains. That is XF and SA. XF means field reactance and armature reactance. After some time, field reactance is also goes out, and remaining is for steady state period only XL, leakage reactance, and XA. So the combination of these things is called as a synchronous reactance, and combination of all these things, it is called as direct axis subtransient reactance, and combination of this third circuit, that will give the direct axis transient reactance. Okay, so these reactances presented by the machine in the initial period of the short circuit. At the time of short circuit, under unloaded condition, the circuits are represented. So how we can write the total reactance? So this is the B circuit, second circuit. So XA, XF, and XDW are parallel with XL. So therefore, in series with the XL. Okay, the combination of this is the parallel combination is series with XL. So XL plus, and these three are parallel. How you are writing parallel? 1 over XDW plus 1 over XF plus 1 over XA, right? And total divided by 1 over this. Okay, so this is called as XD double dash. That is called a sub-transient reaction. The direct axis sub-transient reaction that is represented by XD double dash. While the reactants effective after the damper winding current have died out, so the XD double dash becomes XG dash. So one dash is goes out, only remaining is XD dash. Therefore, XL is parallel with XF and XA, or XA and FX. Okay, armature reactance and field reactance. These two are parallel. Parallel means XA into XF divided by XA plus XF. Okay, so parallel combination of resistances. So you know that formula. Okay, both are in parallel. So that is called as transient reactance. This is represented by only XD. XD is the combination of these two, XL plus XA. So this is called as synchronous reactance. Direct axis synchronous reactance. So what is direct axis synchronous reactance? What is direct axis transient reactance? What is direct axis sub-transient reactance? Okay. Is it clear for everyone? What is sub-transient, transient and synchronous reactance? Is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. So obviously what happened, XD double dash is lesser than XD dash and XD dash is again lesser than XD. Okay. The machine thus offers a time varying reactance which changes from XD double dash to XD dash and finally it comes to the XD, right? So from this you can find out the transient current, that is the steady state current, that is I, and I dash is the transient current excluding DC component, and I double dash is the sub-transient current excluding DC component. Okay, that is to be calculated. So therefore I is equal to OA by root 2, OA that is called as EG divided by XD, and I dash is equal to OB. So that is in the diagram, OA, OB and OC. OA is referred to only steady state, OB referred to transient period, and OC referred to the sub-transient period. So therefore, I double dash is equal to OC by root 2, that is EG by XD double dash. Okay, and we have seen what is XD, XD dash and XD double dash. Direct axis synchronous reactance, direct axis transient reactance, direct axis sub-transient reactance. And EG is, what is EG? Per phase no load voltage, that is in terms of RMS value. Okay, so this is for unloaded condition. This is for unloaded condition. So what is sub-transient period? Usually it lasting only for first two cycle. After two cycle, this period is goes out, during which the current decrement is very rapid. In sub-transient period, current decrement is very rapid. In what is transient period? Transient period means that is covering relatively longer time, usually 5 to 8 cycles. 5 to 8 cycles. So this is called as transient period. And what is steady state period? Remaining final time is called as a steady state period. The period which remains steady after individual current die outs, that is represents the steady state period. And last one is a short circuit of loaded synchronous machine. So in loading condition, that is representing the generator, that is EG, with direct axis reactance, that is XD. Okay, this is the first circuit. Suppose if you have XD dash and XD double dash, the circuit model will become changed. So this is I naught is flowing through this, and EG is equal to, that is V naught plus J into I naught into XD double dash in the EG double dash case. So for this circuit, and EG dash is equal to, EG dash is circuit model computing for transient current, that is total terminal voltage V naught plus J into I naught into XD dash. And for EG, so first circuit, so EG is equal to V naught plus J into I naught into XD. Okay, so these are the equation under the loaded condition. So if it is run is as a generator. Suppose synchronous machine acts like a motor, so only change is the direction of current flowing in reverse direction. So hence it will becomes V naught minus J I naught into XD double dash. So whatever the plus is there, it will becomes minus. So this is the short circuit of loaded synchronous machine under the loading condition. So the voltage EG double dash is known as voltage behind the subtransient reactance, and EG dash is known as voltage behind the transient reactance. In fact, so the I naught is 0 under no load case. Therefore, EG double dash is equal to EG dash is equal to EG. So this is the expression for loaded condition. Okay, and during how you are going to solve the problems of the symmetrical fault analysis, the analysis of three-phase symmetrical fault that can be analyzed by means of Kirchhoff laws as well as Thevenin's theorem. So in both the case we will get the same answer. So in next class we will going to solve how we can solve the three-phase symmetrical fault by using Kirchhoff law and Thevenin's theorem. So both are we will getting the same answer, and we can analyze the circuit. Okay, and this is about the today's lecture. So that is we have studied so many things. That is what is fault, what is symmetrical fault, what is unsymmetrical fault, right? Causes for fault, everything we have studied, right? So and transient on transmission line we have studied this expression, and also short circuit of synchronous machine and no load condition and loaded condition, both we have studied. Okay, so practice these things in your homes. Okay, and we will meet tomorrow. So any doubts regarding today's lecture, anybody? Okay, shall we end the session? Any doubts are there? And all of you are solving the assignment problems. Are you start to doing the problems? If you got any doubts, you can free to ask. Okay, without hesitation. So try to solve all the assignment problems. It is very important. Those are question paper problems. Okay. So how much effort you are going to put in this subject? So definitely this is like a network analysis subject. Okay, similar to the network analysis. So how many times you are going to solve the problems, it will be perfect for you. Okay, so doing number of problems. Okay, so not one problem or two problems, you have to do plenty of problems, then only so the perfection will be coming for you. Okay, it is like analysis subject. So that's why I have given some of the assignment problems. You try to solve all those things. I have given only 4 problems, right? You do it. Okay. Any doubts about today's class? No? Okay. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.